Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with the lovely Sabrina Runbeck, who is a transformative force in healthcare with over a decade of expertise spanning clinical medicine, public health, executive leadership coaching, strategic consulting, and project management. Having overcome burnout with 12 major healthcare systems, she now guides healthcare founders toward optimizing their business models and maximizing social impact. Sabrina's acclaimed podcast, Provider's Edge, ranks among the top 5% globally and boasts over 30,000 listeners, while her TV show showcases over 150 groundbreaking healthcare entrepreneurs. Congratulations, that's awesome. An international best-selling author and featured on Fox, CBS, and ABC, she champions the mantra that visibility is the gateway to profitability, achieving remarkable 5-time conversion rates for her clients. A seasoned networker, speaker, and clinical advisor, Sabrina's influence resonates across the US, Europe, and South America. And I look forward to hearing you speak about strategic front-end outsourcing, streamlining success for sustainable growth. Thanks for being here, Sabrina.
Thanks, Randy, and thanks everyone for joining us. We know you choose us, so we appreciate you for spending your time and overall optimizing all the ways that you do business and your way of living.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into our questions for today. So how can an integrated advisory board streamline success and foster sustainable growth?
Many of us often, when we dive into business and already start making progress, we're proud, and that's how we're supposed to be. However, when we're thinking about how do you grow from the basic foundation that you have created, often the challenge has been, where do we go about it? What's the next thing? What have we done or not done we needed to do more of? And people default into just simply doing more and more and more. And when they try to think about how to solve the issue of I can't even keep up, I'm burning out, I'm already working 20 hours a day and 7 days a week, and people got to be proud from all the effort they're putting in. However, just because you can outsource the backend, which many companies has been popping up for virtual assistants, especially with the COVID changes, that you can hire lower level staff to be able to carry out the work. But if you happen to be doing the things that are not truly aligned with the overall aim, overall strategy, and your bigger vision, you're just busy in the trenches of doing things, you will never get to where you're going because you get trapped into the busy work of every day. And the more that you or your teams are doing, you're wasting money, time, resources that are not productive. So when we're thinking about what you needed to start with in any level, from the established companies to a new company that just get their foot in the door and start getting some attraction, is that we have to create a systematic way to give you the holistic perspective. And when we're looking at health, we think about the physical, the mental, the spiritual. Now, when you think about holistically in a business, we actually see there are also these 3 major domains and break it down to 12 critical business areas. And none of us actually have the ability to know everything. So when you are searching for those amazing advisors who are not only have all the big titles to attract the right people for you or helping you along the way, we also need to have a cohesive board, which means the 3 area of the physical, which is your technology, your financial, your legal, operational side. And the emotional side is how are you connecting, building communities, selling, and marketing yourself, branding it in the right way, and then creating relationship with other business partners. And then your spiritual side of that business is actually the backbone of your business, the HR department, the talent optimizer, the people who really truly write your vision goals and bigger level strategy, and the people who making sure everything is interconnected. So when we're putting all 12 seeds together and they're growing on top, that's how you can truly see, that's the integration that you have to consider in the front end. When you have all 12 puzzle pieces and high-level strategy built out, then you can give to your back end of the doer level to make sure you put yourself on the right path. That's the only way we can grow sustainably despite of economic ups and downs.
My apologies. Thank you. I was on mute. So fantastic. Thank you, Sabrina. So what are the pitfalls of diluted consultancy? And tell us what that means.
For many companies, especially when we start, some of them have one founder or one CEO, and are the executive of everything instead of executive chief, the chief executive officer. Now, how can you really step up to be the true leader of the whole infrastructure? Is that knowing who you needed to be in your circle, building a community to help you. And it's not just one or two. When we mentioned earlier, it needs to be 12-seated board advisors that work for you. They don't have to work for you on a full-time basis. They can work with you from a fractional basis, means partial. And they still can really much connect to each other and not just having a title on your board, but truly functioning for your business growth. So the mistake in general is, oh, I can't afford it, Sabrina. If I have to find these executives, do you know how long it took me just to even find one person, my CEO, to help me, or just find that one CMO? I can't be having all 12 people. Now, that's actually a lack belief system that we have. When many other companies are offering those all-in-one solution, are they truly all-in-one? Or are they just only focusing on one or two things that you can say, oh, okay, I'm getting a good result, right? Most people are needing marketing, branding, sales help. But we know just because you have the message right, you are doing different campaigns, that's not enough, because if they don't have the legal support in healthcare, especially, there's many things we can say, cannot say. And from a financial perspective, how much you're spending, are you getting the right ROIs from this marketing campaign? The financial person needed to be there. Otherwise, without that advisor, you tend to spend a lot of money and not truly seeing all the good results. And some of the campaigns that you run actually take a lot more time to get the ROI than some of the shorter fast track ones. So when we don't have a whole complete picture and we just have those one person who's really good at running business for the past 10, 20 years, another expert who also have expertise, but different specialty, but they never met each other. I'm not sure about you, but I've been on many boards. It's so hard to even figure out who are these experts. If I look at their LinkedIn profile, or if you check out my LinkedIn profile, there's many different things everyone has done in their life, and they're amazing things. But when you come together to support that one company, that one founder, how are they integrating each other's expertise so you don't do the duplication? Or even when you come together to collaborate because you have similar expertise, you're actually helping to feed off on each other's talent and fill the gaps, and not individually feeling like they have to prove something. So when we have a fractionalized the board for all 12 seats, that's comprehensive. Instead of individually, those advisors might get conflict advices. And then from a leadership perspective, then you get really confused on what to do next.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. They have to work together. They have to work cohesively, or else you're not going to achieve anything. you're not going to get anywhere. You're definitely not going to get the right advice. So when is the right time to bring on an advisory board?
The right time is always now. And now also means, are you ready? The question is never if the board is needed. The board is always going to be needed. And I believe, especially in the innovations standpoint, they all have some type of advisory board. Every single deck that I've seen from companies all have a board. But what I could not see is how is their board and all the members, all the advisors on their board individually have a separate skill set that truly helps the companies grow. Or you actually seeing very heavy on development, a lot of engineers, right? And other spectrum, you have a lot of clinicians. Now, clinicians are great at identifying the gaps in how patients are receiving the care and how they are delivering the care, but they're not the true engineering creators. Versus if your board is heavy on the development side, then you're missing the whole human element of it. Now, even you just have those two sides of knowing there is a gap and building something amazing, but what you're also missing is is the role, is the driver in integrating, creating the whole operational efficiency, and then being the person who gel everyone together. And then we can think about, okay, we need other components, right? The people behind all of your senior executives, so you can actually create and do. The people who perhaps you wanted to more client, but if you don't have your message correct on how do you describe your product services from the marketing branding side, then even you have a sales team, they'll be saying all different type of way to describe what you're trying to sell, and then it causes brand confusion. So definitely knowing when you are ready, and all these things can be aligned. And mostly is, are you ready? Do you truly believe that your solution meant to elevate millions of lives? Or this is just truly a side hobby that you're creating? And just because everyone putting sweat equity volunteer base, or you are paying people with equity a monthly stipend, how is each person contributing to you cohesively? And are you ready to quickly scale? Because the way that what you do actually sometimes doesn't matter so much. It's more about what you haven't done to get yourself into that multi-7, 8-figure to be leading the market solution in your industry.
Okay, love it. Thank you. What's preventing entrepreneurial leaders from getting the right people in the right seat for their company?
That is something that a lot of people talk about, is that, Sabrina, I have all these amazing solutions. I talk to a lot of people, but somehow my team can't follow up. Or we have all these great people going, we're working together, but it's only a small team of 3 people. We truly need to expand. But then I need more funding before I need to expand. And so no matter what the barrier we think we have, it's not the true barrier. If you ask yourself, what is the absolute truth to whatever your fear and your that are stopping you from moving forward? Can you really 100% sure that is the true barrier? Or you just haven't seen the opportunity, the methods that can help you? And in every single situation, it needs to be very personalized. So when it comes to having the right people and putting in the right seat and giving them the right resource so they can flourish, number one is, how do you define your mission, vision, and the grand goal? Because we all know people don't motivate unless they get motivated by themselves. You, even though you might be able to learn the 5 appreciation languages, for most people, you have heard the 5 love languages, very similar by the way that it's defined, is that some people do appreciate by having more gifts, and gift Could be a thoughtful personal thing or money in a sense. For some people do want the quality time. If you actually sit down and listen to them, get to know what they want, and you can give that feedback. Some people are wanting those time where you can just say, hey, I am giving you extra time, means it's okay, the deadline can be changed. Or if you meet the deadline, we actually give you an extra day off. So time is also sensitive. And some people do want the pat on the back, the physical handshake, the recognition that they feel connected to, and not just these other ways of, and then which the last one is word of mouth. If you actually say that you're doing a really good job, versus other people who are more physical, just because you tell them you did a really good job, they don't connect to it. So number one is figuring out your true mission, and then what people will see to be appreciated, to align with your mission and feel validated when they do a really good job. And how is your mission and their own individual mission aligned? So one of the things that we do, especially for leadership assessment, we take a full perspective, because we understand, especially when you're a leader, you have to be the accelerator, not the bottleneck for your company. Because when bigger investors coming in or big clients coming in, you want it to be seen as the driver. And you don't want it to be voted off your own board that you spend so much time and effort to build. We want to keep you as the leader of your company. So how do we do that? Number one is we're going to have to assess what is your highest purpose. The assessment that we do is called Genosa Blueprint. When you understand your highest purpose and that aligns with company's highest purpose, then we also assess all your executives. Do they have the right alignment with their own highest purpose, or this is just like a side project for them? If it's just a side project, you know, if the excitement is not there anymore, they very easy to be distracted, go somewhere else. So everyone has to be centrally aligned with the company core purpose and mission and your individual highest alignment. And most of the challenge is that people don't understand their highest purpose, or they don't even know how to describe it for other people to buy in. So we'll be able to help that. So how do we enhance that after you have identified is that physical piece. We know nature and nurture are very different. When we understand our natural way, when we're born, how we're activated in how we perceive the world and how we behave and how we actually can physically shift into other people's natural state. So just like anyone, when you talk to your friend, you sound like them, you behave, you start move like them. So can you imagine the power if you can talk to anyone in that state? Then your power influence is super unlimited. Now, after that, we also know the nurture side. Yes, psychological, neuroscience, social behavior does change the way that we behave. So what are the 10 sabotaging tendencies that you have and your rest of your board members have? How come you're working so hard and still not getting to where you need to go to see your results that much faster? So once we're able to identify the 10 saboteurs, then we are able to mental shift into that higher level function of our brain. Then lastly, but not least, is we're going to do predictive index. Now we can see, based on your skill set, are you born majority of your people are the drivers, means the people who step on the pedal of the car and then your gas pedal, you just speed forward. Do you not have enough people that can help you put the brake on, knowing when to slow down, when to reassess, so you're not driving yourself off the cliff? So that's how we believe when you have the different level of evaluation, then you can find the right people, and with the right behavior, right influence, and then with the different skill set, the right resources, then you can give them the support with the right team that they need and understand where they want it to be, where their purpose are into different area of your company to truly flourish in their best location.
So there's quite the strategic plan to have success with your advisory board. A lot of details. So it's not just like, oh, okay, I'll just go get me an advisory board. It's there's a lot of planning involved, which is why you exist, to help them with that whole process. So how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, we actually have a free resource. It's a quiz called Impact Quotient Quiz that will help you identify, based on the 12 critical domain of business, how big an impact you already created, and then where you perhaps are missing and where you need to go. So go to impactquotientquiz.com to get that free assessment. And for people who love to have a personal conversation with me, jump over to LinkedIn and find me, Sabrina Runbeck. I'm happy to chat with you, grab a virtual coffee chat to see if there's any synergy in expanding your network based on the support system that I have built with our entire board of advisors, or simply some areas that you might just need a light bulb moment so you can keep moving forward.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us, for teaching us, and spreading your wisdom.